Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
G'day, welcome.
G'day.
Welcome, dude and dudettes.
Welcome.
It's Send It Mate Podcast, and I'm Caleb.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're back again for another edition of this podcast. And this week, we'll be doing another topic breakdown.
Yeah.
The topic breakdown has been missing for a few weeks now. We've had a lot of special guests on, but back for your listening pleasure.
I love a good breakdown.
Yes, yeah, I do too. Actually, I want to tell our audiences...
Our listeners.
Audiences.
Our
We have
audience-
multiple,
our viewers.
more,
Our audiences.
multiple audiences.
Yes, we do.
Is it
2022, we're allowed
audio?
to.
What's multiple audiences? Audio.
What are we telling
Audience
you?
eye.
I want to
Spelunko.
just tell them that I hope they've all had a great rut this year, and I hope they've been racking and stacking them because we certainly have.
This sounds like a segue into an absolute gloating session.
Yeah.
No.
Do you need the room? Is that
Nah.
is that what you want?
No,
Maybe
maybe
special Josh time?
maybe a bit of toilet paper
Get that tension out.
just to wipe up my drooling.
Rub your muscles to relieve that tension.
Well, have you had the best rut? Probably had the best rut. You've had how many trips away? 5?
Yeah, look, it's been one great big constant trip, and I've just been back and forth in between. It has been a fucking roller coaster ride. You've had an awesome ride as well.
I can't complain. I've had 2 trips away and one stomper fallow buck. So
You have.
well worth the 82
It's
kilometres.
a record buck, I believe.
82 kilometres walking.
Yeah, if I was Caleb, I would be certainly putting that into the 88.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking about how you look a little bit more trim, buddy. You've shed a few kgs.
Oh, mate, give it fucking 5 Hungry Jacks later. You'll
Well,
be back to normal.
that's what undoes you on the way back from deer camp is the Hungry Jacks at Taylor Bend.
Is that whole concept like don't go shopping on an empty stomach? Like it's like driving past anything on an empty stomach. You're kind of fucked anyway.
Well, look, going down to the southeast, you drive past Taylor Bend, and there's that iconic OTR with the Hungry Jacks, and it's almost like a bit of a ritual. We got it on our way up, Caleb, and I reckon I had instant regrets within.
You say that
Maybe 5 minutes.
You say that every time you eat
Yeah.
any sort of fast food though.
Yeah, but you got to eat it every now and then to remind yourself how terrible you feel.
Have you
after.
guys ever had fast food and gone, yeah, that's really hit the spot. I feel great.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, what was it you were eating?
KFC with a hangover.
Yeah, but
Greasiness, the
that's
greasiness, it just
That's
sucks
like the
up
level
all-
of shit. Like it's still shit, but it's not as shit as being hungover. So your level of shitness gets decreased slightly. I can see where you're coming from.
It soaks up all the badness.
I just think that you're still drunk and you've lost all sensation in your
You're
taste
still
buds.
fucked and can't feel it.
Well, actually, though, in that case, blind drunk eating a gyros, that's fast food.
Oh, is
Is
that
it?
that Euros place on?
On,
In a Highley
on
Street.
Highley Street, Yanni's.
Yes, that is the bomb.
Not that other bullshit people tell you. The best is Yanni's on Highley Street. Mind you, I haven't been there for a long time, but back in the day,
Caleb
Yanni's.
used to eat there daily.
All
Dude,
the
I
time.
used to go to uni up the street. We used to have it for fucking lunch.
Mate, just walking past it smells delicious. You can't avoid going in there if you smell what they're cooking, even if the rock was in there.
Look, yeah, a good lamb Euros is pretty good. Actually, lamb chicken
Combo.
yeah, combo.
Lamb, chicken, pork, man. You got to have that crackle in there.
Yeah.
And you got to add cheese.
Yeah, you got to have that the yogurt.
Oh, it's tzatziki. Is that what it's
Garlic
called?
sauce.
It's a yogurt sauce.
Garlic sauce.
It's a yogurt sauce.
Yogurt garlic sauce?
It's a
Garlic
It's
sauce.
a yogurt sauce.
Mayo.
Fucking yogurt sauce.
Do you know what? It's a white sauce, but it's garlicky.
That's not the only white sauce Josh likes. Yeah.
Jesus, a little bit of tabbouleh on it.
Nah, you don't want tabbouleh.
Yeah, you do.
You don't want tabbouleh. You don't want tabbouleh.
Yeah.
What's that hot sauce?
Is tabbouleh like, what is that? Is that like the mix of parsley
yeah.
and stuff?
I think
It's
so.
a mix of fucking weeds is what it is. It's bullshit.
I don't mind a bit of weed.
What is the OG hot sauce? You've put me on this path. of
Sriracha?
No. He's put me down the sriracha path. You used to be able to just get a little hot sauce bottle.
Tabasco.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So if you
Tabasco.
get a Yanni's Gyros, put cheese on it and Tabasco sauce, and it is off its
Nah,
tits.
if they did a combo Euro with
Combo Euro.
That sounds like a
what's the sauce that you just mentioned? Fuck.
You mentioned it as Tabasco.
No, the other one.
Sriracha.
The sriracha mayo on there. Oh,
Actually, sriracha mayo made the rut for me.
Is that like a sauce in a bottle, or is that like a mix of mayo and sriracha sauce that you guys put together yourself?
No, it is pre-mixed in a bottle. Sriracha mayo.
I did before I knew that they had one pre-mixed. I did used to mix chili sauce and mayo, the sriracha and mayo together.
Well, my go-to for eating pies is the old mayo and sweet chili. You mix them, like you peel the top of the pie off and you mix in your mayo and your sweet chili with the meat, and then you eat it out the bowl, and then you eat the the pastry separate.
That sounds
Too much trouble for a
slightly
pie.
obsessive compulsive.
It's just delicious. It's delicious, but you want to get a good quality meat pie, not the one that's got all the gristle and shit in it. Yeah, that was my staple growing up. I used to smash 4 of them every day when I got home from school.
Jesus. How are you not the size of a house?
That explains a lot.
I am the size of a house.
Oh
A
god.
very, very little house.
Anyway, let's
How am I not a fatty?
talking about food. Let's get back to the rut. We actually
Well, I did try and segue with the sriracha at rut.
we actually ended up cooking up some fallow and deer steaks, so bone in,
Some deer and deer steaks.
and that was the fallow and red.
The best way. On the swing on, swing off cooktop.
We'll have to put a
so you
photo
get
of
like
what that
all the
is up.
smokiness and the aromas of the fire. And,
Except Caleb is a man that's against fire, so he actually has a swing off, swing on.
Well, no,
that
I saw
goes and gets hot with oxygen.
I saw that you guys met the criteria and you had a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket on the side. You were definitely well and truly away from any foliage. I noticed that you'd raked out all of the leaves as well, so it seemed like it was fire compliant.
I'm going to swing on and swing something off.
I'd like to see you try, buddy.
Swing it across your face.
Just
and
because
then
you've
swing
lost
it off your
about
face.
0.5% of body fat doesn't mean you can take on fucking King Kong, all right?
0.5%.
That's a real
3%,
fucking
mate.
small King Kong.
Oh, it's little 3%.
I'm labeling this rut the rut shred.
The rut shred. Shredding for the rut.
Jeez, some K's were walked. That's for
It was
sure.
good though. Well, have you you don't have the bloody app to work out what you were doing every day because you're
Nah.
relying on me. But when I was there over 5 days, 82 Ks,
Yeah,
and
nice.
you've been back for
And I was there before. So, yeah, there was
so you're probably over 200.
You're even
probably
wearing
getting that,
shorts,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah, actually. My little, not the last fellow I took, actually, but the best fellow I took this this trip.
You were wearing shorts.
Best fella you took.
Maybe the shorts is a good luck.
We were talking about this before, actually, just outside, before we started the podcast, because I'd rocked up, got out the car, threw my cam shirt on, and I was like, "Oh, should I change my shorts? Nah, it's too hot. Stuff it. I'll just wear them." And then walked out with Josh and what's the young fella's name?
Some other bloke.
Forgive me, mate.
A young gentleman.
Give me a second. I can.
Do you write his name down?
Do you know what? Just
How many people's names do you write down? Have you got like a list of people that you've met on your phone?
Nathan, sorry.
Nathan.
Yeah. Nathan went out with him, and for half an hour later, I walked out with a fellow.
Yeah, nice.
That was
shorts.
probably the easiest part of the trip, actually.
Is it because it was hot, or was it because your pants were broken?
No, I grabbed a second pair of pants. I broke the button before I went. No, it was just hot.
Look, it was a bold move getting the chicken legs out, but it paid off.
Mate, my calves looked jacked in that photo.
Dude, 2 of my calves are fuck.
You've got fat calves.
2 of your calves are one of mine.
See, you're just stumbling over your words because you're just impressed.
That doesn't
with
matter.
my
I'll just edit it to
sexiness.
sound like I said the right thing the first time.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Perfect camp, Mum.
You forget I have this ability.
Do you know what, Caleb? You should get onto Photoshop as well. Just start editing the photos that Josh posts as well, just to really fuck with him. Like, where are your legs? They're there. Just really small.
That's all right.
Not required.
I
Doesn't
just-
matter. You got a buck.
I just Photoshop big dicks on Caleb's head.
That's a strange fetish, and if you wish to do that, go
You
for
took
it.
a photo
mate.
of my feet tonight. How is that any stranger?
It wasn't about your feet. It was
about
about
your footwear.
your footwear. Exactly.
Your girl thongs, mate.
Nah, you were salivating over my feet. I watched it. You
I think
wanted to keep that
thongs-
photo for your own personal use.
I don't think you're even wearing thongs. What are they, like sandals? They're like mandals.
I have no idea what they're called, man, but they're comfy as.
They're slides and they're purple.
And it's the sort of thing
They're
you'd expect
metallic
to see
purple.
at the Mardi Gras, to be honest. Like, I can just picture a dude wearing a tutu and a fucking white wife beater with
Well, there
a
was
wand.
red or these colour, and red sort of looks a bit too druggy.
How has that ever
Druggy.
been an issue for you before?
So you prefer feminine over druggy?
They're not feminine. They're metallic.
No, they're feminine.
Purple.
They're not
That's
feminine 'cause
like-
you're in them.
That's
That's your logic. I fucking know that's your logic.
Well,
They're not feminine because you're wearing them.
yeah,
the official
this doesn't
word-
need to be spoken. It's just it's fact.
The official word on the street is they're unisex, apparently. So
Pretty sure they are.
if you took the Under Armour logo off of them and then just trekked around and then people were like, oh, he's wearing girls' thongs.
See,
That bloke over there's wearing girls' thongs.
I feel like there's a level of care factor, and I just don't care.
they're comfortable.
Yeah,
Mate, why don't you just wear Crocs at this point?
All mandals. Like, I hear mandals are comfortable. Mandals and socks. That's your go-to, my friend.
No, if you see me wear mandals, please just come up to me and like punch me right square in the nose.
If we see you wearing girls' thongs, can we do the same?
Nah, because they're comfortable.
I'm nearly there with those thongs, to be honest. But do you know what?
With mandals,
Look after your feet. That's something you taught me. And after 82 kilometres walking during the rut, I'm glad I looked after my feet because I did not have a single blister or a sore foot at all.
yeah, man.
So boots, get good socks, get good boots, look after your feet, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when the blisters are a foot. No one likes that.
It's I got these garments actually, and they are a good boot, but for some reason sizing in boots has changed in the last since COVID, sort of the COVID meltdown. Because I used to be a size 10, and now I'm a size 9, but I'm actually should be a little bit bigger in the boot.
Is that what
It's
you
a little
keep
bit
telling-
too cramped with
Is that
socks
what-
on.
Is that what you told women?
No, it's-
You're like,
it's
I actually should be a little bit bigger. But
It's a little bit too cramped with socks on, and if I do my laces up too tight, it's just my foot just fucking.
Nah, they probably changed where they're manufacturing them. And there's no universal size anymore because all the imports from China versus the locally made under the same brand and that sort of shit. Really, it's you got to try before you buy on everything now.
Yeah, but we don't
Which
get
is
that
impossible.
luxury
It's
in
impossible.
South Australia.
There's
Yeah.
like nowhere to buy hunting boots
Yeah.
where you can go in and try it.
Even hiking boots. Have you seen the selection of boots that like Anaconda and all that sell?
They're crap.
terrible.
They're crap. They look like what senior citizens wear to go hiking in.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to a Snowy's. They had some good, they had about 2 pairs of good boots, I'd say, out of 20. And the rest were terrible. And even that, you can't judge off of 2 pairs of boot.
What'd you call me?
Ha ha ha. You were just waiting to sneak that in, weren't you?
I've been hanging around with Hainsey too much. Fucking hell.
Way too much.
Yeah, but all in all, good rut. I mean, by now, our listeners have probably seen the photos on Instagram of the various bucks. The footage of your red is possibly the best footage that exists.
That's one of the best videos I've ever seen of someone taking a deer. Eh?
I will put that up on Send It, mate, actually, in the next like a day or two. I'll set the scene for you. So we had this one particular morning, we've gone out, we could hear a red roar, and then it like nothing, just one roar and then nothing. So we've gone up and beeline sort of in the direction of where the roar was, and Josh knew where the does were sort of hanging around anyway. And we've come around over this hill and come around this little bit of mallee scrub, and then boom, off in the distance there's about 6. Well, I initially saw only 6, but there was 12 red does, and a stag behind the does, probably 50 metres off. And we sort of sat down, and I ranged that, right? And it was about it was 349 metres. So I was getting ready to set the shot up and take the shot at that distance. And Josh had just looked at me and he's gone, no, it's all good. Because at this stage, the does had started moving in closer to us to head into the cover. So we waited, and sure enough, he's come trotted after his biddies. Halfway to us, and the girls, he's fucking stopped and let out this massive roar. That's on video as well. Josh did an amazing job videoing it. And then he's come right up to us, and he wasn't really presenting a shot. The times that he did present the shot for a split moment, he started walking. So I was like, oh, look, Josh will bail him up with a meh. And he did that the first time, and he stopped chest facing us with his chest. And I was like, oh, I'll wait till he turns again broadside, and I'll take the broadside shot. But yet he started trotting off and getting a bit more momentum. And then Josh has let out another little meh, and he stopped. And he stopped facing with his chest towards us again. And I'm like, nah, if I don't take this, he's going to go. So I thought, I'll just take the chest shot. That's cool. So, yeah, perfect point of impact where I shot him, let the shot off, hit him in the chest, and I hit hard. And, yeah, I could tell he hit hard. His head sort of and neck dropped. And then he started running. And he's getting closer, and he's getting closer. And then all of a sudden, he's probably the video doesn't do it justice, but he's bailed up only a few meters from us, and he's literally come running in and then just tripped over his feet, face planted into the ground, and done like a half somersault thing, and bailed up that close to us. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Oh yeah, I don't do the video justice, so I'll put it up on Instagram for everyone to have a look.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing footage, and people that have seen it, they've all had the same reaction, like, wow, holy crap. And you are right. Well, I wasn't there, but both you and Hainsey were just saying, it's so much closer than what the footage shows. So to sit there and experience that in the flesh. Spot. Yeah, well, you did, and just looking at it, you're like, yeah, wow, you can see and put yourself where you took the shot. And then place yourself versus where he landed versus where the bushes were and all that sort of stuff. And you can see how close it is in person. Yeah. So, that I would have been spudding out going, holy shit, this is going to land on top of me in a second.
Yeah. Well, but Josh and I didn't move because we were like, oh, this is too awesome. And Josh kept filming, but he was about to press the eject button actually at one stage. But he bailed up beautifully. Nice little 8-point red, very even. Nice polished tips on him. So, yeah, very, very nice. Now, you told the peeps on another podcast about yours, but you've actually had a very, very, very successful race.
True. I feel dirty, though, because I've spilled the beans on another podcast.
Filthy.
You
the betrayal.
Cheated on us. But no, I spilled the beans on another podcast with Zach from Hunting Connection podcast. So a few of you may have already listened to that, where he did his Rut-tacular special, where we sat down with Hainsey and Zach and Josh and myself. But, it was a special day for me shooting my fallow buck, which for me was the first antlered deer that I've ever shot. Shot does, shot spikers, but never a buck or a stag.
Spiker has an antler.
All right.
2 antlers.
Spiker,
Does it
never
count?
a buck or a spag. A spag. A spag.
Bag. But
I shot 7 spags.
Never a
last-
suck or a bag. Never a buck or a stag. And look, it was great. And look, the hard yards were put in because, as I've said multiple times, walked 82 kilometres over 5 days, which that's a lot for me. And
getting off the couch to the fridge is a lot for you.
that's a lot. But you know what? I was determined. And as we mentioned on the other podcast, look, I passed up 2 on the first day, which
Plus up 3.
Well, yeah, but my initial 2, there was 2 bucks, which would have been fine for a first buck. 2 fallow bucks. One was standard, but not huge, and then the other one was a chocolate coloured buck.
It was black. It was stunning. I saw him again today, and he still looks stunning.
You reckon black? I reckon chocolate.
No, it was black. I saw him again today. Exact same thing. Yeah, it was black.
Okay, it was
he
black.
was stunning.
Right.
Absolutely stunning, mate.
So yeah, no, I passed up the black buck on the first day because look, I wasn't feeling it. And do you know what? Where I went wrong was the one I did shoot on day 5. We'd seen that just before, and he is the biggest thing that I've ever seen in terms of fallow. So I was like, holy shit! If I can get one that's sort of anywhere near that, I'll be laughing. And then when we saw these other 2, which could have been my first, I was like, they look tiny. And then the other thing was Hainsey said, we can do better. And I'm sitting there going, I'm not feeling it. Like they were only about 50 metres away and they did not give a shit that we were there. They did not care. Like we literally kept walking along this fence line and pushing them down the fence line and they didn't run away. And I could have shot them 5 times over, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But then when it got to day 4 and I was due to go home again, I was going through my head and going, well, plus I had you on my ear, Josh. But I was like, why did I pass up on the first day?
What you would have been happy with on the last day.
Correct. I learned that lesson, ladies and gentlemen. I learned that lesson. So, went back home, bit frustrated, but I had a great time because at the end of the day, we're out there with mates, we're around the campfire, having a few beers, we're seeing deer. We're seeing a shit ton of deer, like more deer than I've ever seen in the one spot in my entire life. Pretty much. Over the course of that weekend, there was more deer than I've seen in any bloody state forest in Vic or anywhere else, basically. Free range. So went back the following weekend and Zach was there for that weekend, which was good. So we had a few bevies around the campfire, had a good night, and we're up pretty late. So I think we went to bed about 2 a.m. and then we're up again at like just before 6 the next day. So just real dusty, all of us real dusty after multiple beverages and no sleep. And we went out to a route we'd walked several times the previous weekend, and Hainsey and I decided to go left with Hainsey, and you and
Yeah, I took Zach right.
yeah, you took Zach right.
Yep.
And I'm so glad I went left because I don't know.
Let's face it, left was definitely going to be the direction that everyone wanted to go, but someone had to go right. So, you know.
Well, right was unknown. It could have been anything. It could have been a stomper.
Well, that's the thing.
Could have been anything right. So, I mean, I picked left because it was sort of known, and I'm like, well, I'm going to do basically the same loop again. And
And that's a big walk, actually. So you would have been preparing in your head to do like a good 17K round trip.
but, I mean, if I'm completely honest, in the back of my mind, I did actually have that the big boy could potentially be there. I did have that in the back of my mind. But then I was also half expecting Hainsey to be like, oi, give me a rifle. I'm going to shoot the prick. So, look, when we did spot him, he was with 40 does. And what had been happening the previous weekend was the does who were closest to us were spooking the bucks further off.
Yeah, yep.
Every single time. But this time there was 40 of them and they were frolicking and they didn't seem to give a shit as much. Now, my rifle was playing up the previous weekend as well, so I could have shot him from probably about 250, but I said, look, realistically, I'm going to want to get to 100 if we can. So we crept up, and the doe still didn't care. So we managed to get into about 100 meters, and he was this buck, which is friggin' huge. He was starting to make his way into the scrub. So by the time I was in a position to take a shot, I had very little time. Mm-hmm. So I basically just dropped down, got a sight picture of him as his head was basically in the scrub. So all I could see was his forequarters back. And, took the shot. And then Haynes is like, you got him. And he was absolutely elated because he's been observing this buck for quite a few years. And he was stoked. And he's like, you got him, you got him, you got him. And we sort of high-fived and hugged it out and heaps excited. And he goes, oh, where do you reckon you shot him? I'm like, dude, my rifle – like, I reckon I know, but it could have been a bit further back because he was moving into that scrub. And we're like, shit, this could be interesting. And we went to where he thought he entered the scrub and we're hacking around and it was thick as anything and we couldn't see or hear him. And then we heard this final, like he let out his final breath, the buck did, and made this real deep sound, which I won't try and emulate because I'll sound like an idiot. But that sort of said to us, look, he's down a bit further. So we popped back out of the scrub, walked through the clearing a bit further, and then looked into the scrub again, and there he was. And he was probably 5 meters into the scrub from where I shot him, and he was crouched down, and it looked like he could spring up again at any moment. So we sort of walked forward a little bit, and then kicked him in the rump, and I was ready to take another shot if I needed to, but he was dead as a doornail. Shot him through the heart. So yeah, he was dead as, and
Man,
for a first buck, my God, they were just I couldn't be happier. Basically,
look, your adrenaline. I remember seeing you later that night, like we were talking, and you could tell that you were just like on this huge come down of adrenaline still at 11 o'clock at night, bro. And your face, I still don't think you realised how big it was until a few days later when you were home. Because, man, he is a cracker of a deer.
Well, he is an absolute stomper. Where I think my first realisation of how big he was, because like on day, I think it was 1 or 2 where we first saw him through the binos, I was like, holy shit, he looks like a different species. He's that much bigger than what's around him. And he's been nicknamed the Moose since, but like when we got back to camp and Hainsey was kind enough to cape him out and did the face cape because I'm going to get him mounted. Yeah, like the one of the fellow Hainsey shot in the previous weekend, we put those antlers in between the antlers of my buck, and I thought the one Hainsey shot was big.
Well, it is big.
Well, it is, yeah. And then these other antlers just fit in between with like miles of room. I'm like, okay, yep, I can see how big this is. Yeah. Because I don't really have perspective. Yeah, I don't have perspective on how, like, I can tell it's big.
Even though there was 8 other racks against the fence.
Yeah, even then.
Oh. Hey, you know what's funny about that actually? Hainsey shot his son. I'll get Hainsey to send you the photo through.
The deers.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you rephrase that? Because that sounds a little bit sus.
Oh, the deers. Well,
Hainsey shot
context. We're
the
talking
son
about
of the deer.
The deer that Caleb shot. Hainsey shot his son.
Yeah, he messaged me and said that a couple of days later.
Yeah.
But the way you said it just sounded like he shot his son.
It did, Hainsey shot his son. Hainsey shot the deer's son.
Son of deer. Son of Moose.
Son of Moose. So... Fuck.
Yeah, son of Moose. He did say that to me in message a couple of days later. So, yeah, I reckon. And I actually said to him, I think it was the one that you and I saw.
Yeah.
That was skylighting himself against the sunset.
Yeah.
That night. So
we tried to make a beeline for him, but, just beaten by the darkness, really.
But, going to get him mounted, going to get him on the wall, and I've probably got 6-ish sort of months to convince the doll to fucking let me put it on the wall.
No, there's zero convincing with that. She just needs to come to terms with what you achieved
How far out from the, he's going to stick a fair way out from the wall. If you go, where are you going to do it? Like you're going to go from shoulder?
Yeah, at least.
I don't think it's going to be like far
centre
out
neck
in that way. I think it's going to be like height. I don't
He's
think
gonna
you can have
he's
enough.
gonna have to be basically as far back as the cape will allow because I've got to fit his antlers in.
Yeah.
And I want his head turned to one side.
Yeah.
So he has to be far enough out.
Oh,
from
so
the
he's
wall.
going to stick out. If you're having him turn side on, he's
Mount
gonna
him-
stick
I
out.
want him
like-
slightly turned side on because he's got a better palm than the other.
Yeah.
And I want that to be prominent.
You should mount him like right where the hallway of your house ends, so everyone who walks through the front door just gets this big fucking deer staring at him.
I don't think his
It won't
hallway's
fit on that wall.
wide enough, mate.
It won't fit on that wall.
I actually
Actually,
don't
it's a fair
think
point.
his hallway's wide enough for this deer. No way.
It won't fit on that wall.
No.
Where are you going to put it? You got nowhere in your house.
Above
to
your
put it.
bed. So you can like, when you're making love, you can look at
Leverage.
When you're just grab some antlers.
Yes.
Grab an
Big old
antler.
handlebar.
Look, it's
But then
either
you'll be
gonna-
staring in Moose's face while you're doing your business.
There's worse ways to go about your business.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. Like I said, it's going to happen and it's going to be on a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Oh, mate, it has to go on a wall.
I have a lack of walls. Maybe above my drum kit or something. I don't know.
Tell her to put some like fairy lights in it or something to make herself feel good. I don't know.
Fairy lights in the antlers.
If I could incorporate some sort of plant into it, then should be all for it.
Get a climbing ivy. Like one of
Yeah.
those ones that's like you leave in a little pot and then it like it's like a rope with leaves on it and then it'll wrap itself around the
they've
antlers.
got
That'll look
one.
Yeah,
fucking
I've
sick.
got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. Hanging it from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, do
Put
that.
it next to that and then get that to wrap around it. That's
There you
cool.
go.
Great
Yeah,
idea.
man. Yeah.
Put LEDs.
And then when you get it mounted, get the jaw open and then get like a little rabbit mounted stuffed in his mouth.
Because
Like he's eating it. Oh, no. Oh, you're right. You haven't seen the movie. Don't worry.
what are you
This is
talking
obscure
about?
as fuck.
I can't-
What movie is this?
Again,
I can't
context.
even talk. Oh, I can't even remember the name of the movie. But it's
Was
got.
it the rabbit son?
Who's the guy that played Loathing Las Vegas or whatever it is?
Johnny Depp.
That's it. It's got Johnny Depp in it.
And there's a movie where a deer is eating a rabbit.
Nah, like a rabbit's eating something ridiculous.
What?
Never mind.
Is it
It's
a
wasted.
cartoon?
No. It's like a cowboy movie and Indians.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the fucking name of the movie.
I don't think you
Lone
even know what I'm
Ranger?
talking about.
That's it.
Lone Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the bunny eats the fucking
Toto? Is that the name
some
of the...
shit. Yeah, that's the name of the
Yeah.
Indian. Tonto.
Tonto? Toto's the dog from fucking Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, we're getting some wires crossed tonight.
Let's do it. And Dwayne, I hope you're up for it because there's a few heads coming to you this
He's
this
got a bit of a backlog, doesn't
He
he?
does.
So you'll be able to mount yours in 7 years. That's fine. You got 7 years to pick a spot, bro.
Possibly. Be a new house by then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bigger house.
With a custom man cave.
You gotta have a mount wall, or just a big fucking wall where you're gonna rack them and stack them.
Do you reckon it'd fit in the A-frame of the fucking veranda?
That's no.
Not that I
Don't put
want
him outside.
Well, I don't want him outside, but
No, that's not even an option.
okay. The look of disgust. in
Jesus,
your face.
mate. You just tell your missus, no, none of, you're not getting my erection selection until the gear goes on the wall. That's all you need to tell her.
You're saying I should withhold
Bloody oath, mate.
You know that never works for men.
no mounting until
There's
gear is
mounting.
mounted.
Exactly.
Mount for mount.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I like
Write a
that.
contract.
I did actually suggest that to her. She said no.
What do you mean?
What? As in?
You already tried it.
I threatened that. I did. I tried.
And did she
And she
laugh
said
at you?
no.
She's like, yeah, right.
No. Do you just stick to your guns, mate?
Yeah. She said it's not my vibe. I'm like, it's going to happen. There's a standoff at the moment, but it's okay because I've achieved, and I've got a fucking deer to put on the wall.
He's easy going to fetch like 240, man. I don't even think you're going to see another deer like that free range it.
I won't see another one, let alone shoot another one. But I'm keen to get it scored properly. See what's what.
Yeah, definitely.
Then I
we
can
should
actually
do that.
say a number.
I'm still
We all
fucking
think-
confused as to how that scoring system works.
Look, the DS system, yeah. There's a lot. involved.
We should get someone on that actually does it, that can explain it properly. Because I mean, depending on the species, it changes, and then depending on what metric
I think it's
system
that
you're
complicated.
using.
You need a degree.
You need an expert
in how to do it. Mate.
For those playing at home, if you know someone who is well educated in the whole point system for deer and how to rate them,
The DS scoring. Yeah.
DS scoring system, then hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. Let us know. Get us in touch with them, because we'd really like to have a chat and help everyone learn how to score their own deer, so that they don't need to be confused like us.
Just call him big motherfucker.
Oh, look,
Scores
Moose is a very appropriate name.
BMF.
Zach, or give Zach credit for that. He called it moose. I was trying to be the H word, humble, and not fucking brag, because I was like,
Fuck off! You didn't even know what to say. You were still stuck.
I was shocked. He called it moose. It wasn't me.
You
Wasn't me.
still had buck fever, mate, when we rocked up. He was still shaking. I was laughing. I'm like, oh, look at him.
Oh, look, there's about 90 photos of me with the biggest grin I've ever had on my face, I think.
I didn't know
yeah.
you could smile up until that photo.
Possibly, like, even when I had children. Like, I don't
Ooh. See, now the better than sex comes into play.
No.
But you have sex to make children, so maybe you're onto something, Josh. I don't know. Sorry, girls. You know I love you if you ever listen to this. But, I think I smiled as much, if not more.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a pretty good photo of me holding both of them at once in the hospital. That's at least a good a grin.
Oh, slightly lesser, I'd say.
Just less of a beard. So.
Not as manly.
All right, well, that's our POI for this week. So let's get into it. Let's get into the nuts and guts of it. And our topic for this week is not in my wheelhouse.
Yay!
And whoever come up with that needs a good fucking backhand.
Have you ever heard that expression before?
The nuts and guts. What'd you say? The nuts and
No.
guts.
So let's get into the nuts and guts of it.
Not nuts and guts. Not in my wheelhouse.
Oh, no,
And, no, I haven't. That's why I'm saying that someone needs a
I
backhand.
use it all the time.
No, I've never heard you use
Caleb,
that.
I've heard
I
him.
use it
I've heard him use
all
it.
the time.
No,
To
never.
the fact that my missus has now adopted it.
Only because it's been a pre-scheduled thing for the last, I don't know, few months.
The only reason I suggested it as a topic is because it's a phrase I use all the time.
No.
I
Maybe not
definitely-
around you.
It feels like I feel like it stems from an office environment, because you go, oh yeah, no, that's not in my wheelhouse. You know, it's not. It's another way of saying I got no fucking idea what
It's
you're
his
talking about.
excuse for sex as well. Well, that's not in my wheelhouse. Not
Well-
experimenting.
It depends on how far you want to go, mate, and what metaphors you're referring to.
I
with
use it ironically
wheels
most
and
of the
houses.
time and just be like, nah, that's not in my wheelhouse.
Never heard you say it, bro. It's terrible. It is terrible. Yeah.
Well,
Well, anyway,
if
instead
it's
of arguing over it,
it's
how
the
about we
first
break it
time
down?
that you've heard it, and well, look, I'm the first one to be on the list. So, not in my wheelhouse. I was being like, how the fuck can I make this weird? So, I think that, well, not in that sense. Fuck, we can't be recording if we're going to go down that road. But we talk a lot about off-roading and towing and camper vans, and you've bought yourself a Lotus and you're getting that whole kit, but we've never really sort of dived into it much. It's usually been sort of a couple of sentences here and there. So I want to dive into that and open up with the question of what have you guys towed before, and lead that into sort of a conversation about requirements for that and legalities around it, because that's confusing as fuck for a lot of people. Yeah, so what is the biggest you guys have ever had? What's the heaviest that you ever towed?
Well, look, I got a bit of experience here because I have towed a 1.8 ton excavator with tools, but like extra buckets,
Oh, that's cute.
this and that on my trailer when I had an earth moving business with Couchy, and we were towing it with a Nissan Navara. Plus our Nissan, like the tray of the ute was like chockers.
Chockers.
Man. Yeah.
How'd you get up the hills?
Nah, like up the highway
Yeah.
here in Adelaide, we were probably like 30 k's an hour.
And he had a 3 litre, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had electric brakes, which I
Yeah, that's a big.
still don't think it was
No, yeah, well, it depends.
legal.
The NAV's rated at 2.
No, the 3 litre was rated at 3
5.8.
ton.
Well, it depends. Like, depends on how you're figuring out your tow capacity, because what they tell you is different from what the equation that you need to figure out.
Sounds like it's not.
Well, your gross vehicle mass is different to your towing, but your towing was 3 ton. Bull weight was like 400 kilos, I think.
Really? Fuck. That's massive.
Yes, I think maybe I might be thinking of the caravan. Maybe it was like 180.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's sort of leading into what I want to talk about and the importance of this sort of stuff, because a lot of people, especially the grain nomads, given the whole COVID thing that's going on, there's a lot of people that are buying caravans and then trekking around Oz on them, but they're not actually legally driving them, and the coppers are cracking down on it. So I want to bring a little bit of awareness to the listeners about making sure that you are legal, because there's a bunch of things that you can fuck yourself up on if you don't do it right, if you get in an accident. Like your insurance won't cover you if they test your load ratings and you're not meeting it. Your brakes won't work the way that they're supposed to work as well.
Well, it's funny, man. You are right. You see a whole bunch of people with like those Holden SUVs towing like 22-foot caravans.
All the fucking time, man. Like, you go down the freeway and then you fuck, man, I don't know how it's not come to light earlier. And like, you see the highway patrol coppers every fucking time I go down the highway and the freeways, especially up through the hills, there's always a caravan being pulled over, being inspected.
Yeah.
And so they should, because for those who aren't from Adelaide, we've got a really big there's a big decline from the hills that comes down into the city, and then it forks off into 3 different roads. Super fucking dangerous if you're not going low speed if you're a big fucking truck, or if you haven't got the right load ratio for your brakes, then there's a bit of trouble. A lot of people have died from trucks and caravans and big cars just ploughing through traffic. So there's a set of lights right at the bottom. There's not enough stopping space at all. It's quite serious, actually. I think, was it 2 years ago they had like 5 or 6 people die because a semi ploughed through a whole bunch of.
I don't know if anyone died, but I remember it went through just to the left. There was a water feature on that. There's like a wall.
It was actually after that. Yeah. The semi went through the waterfall,
through
the water fountain thing. Yeah. It smashed it all to pieces. Yeah, that was intense. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. And look, I do know, I had a truckie once say that, so on that descent, there's actually like emergency sort of, what would you call them, like pits?
Arrestor beds.
Arrestor beds.
Yeah.
And I did get told once that if a truckie was to use that because his brakes failed or something like that, it was like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that actually.
Yeah, it is, because they have to tow it all out, and then you got to pay the fees for them to reset it all. And it's quite substantial. I mean, fuck, they haven't been around for a very long time. They were only built in the last sort of 15 years, I think, to take up, like, create that safety sort of net.
Yeah.
But man, like the trucks are bigger now than what they used to be. They're a lot bigger.
And the old freeway as well was probably worse because you had Devil's Elbow coming into Adelaide.
Yeah.
So, and that, like, a lot of people died on Devil's Elbow in Adelaide.
Yeah, and it also comes down to experience. Like, if you're not experienced in handling a super heavy vehicle, then you probably need to spend a bit of time on the flats before you take up on the hills, because it's just totally different.
Well,
driving.
I think understanding how much power one, your car makes, and two, your brake capacity on your car as well. Even with your assisted trailer brakes, you may have to upgrade your brake booster or something. But then, a simple thing of understanding that the power of your car and your gearbox too. So you can use your gears to slow down or control your speed as you're going downhill. But if your gearbox isn't made for it, well, shit, you ain't having no gears left.
Yeah, and it's all added expense. I mean, the biggest thing that stood out for me is the insurance. So if you have an accident, most people are like, no worries, my insurance will cover it. But if you're towing more than you should, your insurance company will fuck you.
Yeah.
That's their job. Like, they will go out of their way to inspect the vehicle and stuff, and they'll fuck you. So,
look, and I think if you're wanting to tow something like that, you've got a responsibility to tick your checks and balances. I mean, our truckies, they go through like rigorous shit. for the
Well,
load.
that's the thing. Like, you will get fined. Like, there's big fines. Like, if you, it is illegal to tow above the load rating for your vehicle.
Yeah.
So, look, if you want to figure that out, jump online. There is guys that you can call. There's apps you can download to help you with the calculations. Definitely do not take what we say as gospel, because every car is different. Every state has different rules and legislation. You need to figure it out for yourself. Do not take what we're saying as legal, whatever you want to call it. We're not responsible.
What you need to fucking do is go out and buy a fucking Land Cruiser, all right?
Well,
And
and
you'll
you
be
can
fine.
just tow anything.
Did you
You'll
do
be
the
fine.
calcs on what yours is? You got a big fuck off fucking Lotus.
Yeah, look, we do have to upgrade our brake booster, and I will do a GVM upgrade, and I'll go to a 4495 GVM upgrade. I know.
Yeah.
I'll upgrade the tow ball too, and I'll just
Tow ball, eh?
go max, and I'll go 400 kilos.
Yeah. So I'd like to break this down a little bit for our understanding of it, so that people can get a better idea of what they need to look for. So basically, you've got your gross combined weight of your trailer and your car, and that is what, like, the weight that's going to be pushing against your brakes as you go down a hill. If you have, you should have electric brakes on anything that's substantially heavier. But if you're towing a trailer that hasn't got brakes, you have kind of fucked and limited mostly to a very light load. The way to figure that out is to get your, like, how much you can tow. So your trailer weight is to get the trailer, what's called the aggregate mass, which is all the stuff that's in it, not just the caravan itself, but your caravan with all the shit in it. And then you take away the tow ball weight, which is another calculation of how much weight is down on the tow ball, and that'll give you your trailer weight. And then you add up your trailer weight and your total car weight. So that's everything that's in it. So the little the number that's written on the car, that is how much the car weighs, and that's with 10 litres of fuel in it and all the fluids. That's not a full tank of gas as well, or full tank of fuel, sorry. So people need to pay attention to that. And then the total weight of the car can change depending on what the tow ball weight is. So it's a bit of a fucking equation, and it's a bit mathematical. The best thing to do if you don't understand it is talk to someone who does. So that leads me into the next question. Have you guys...
Hang on. Caleb, what have you towed before?
Well, that's a fair point. What's the biggest thing that you've towed, Caleb?
I think it would probably just be your swag in the car. Do you even have a manual?
Biggest thing I've towed is a car trailer with a car on it.
No.
How big? Like a laser? Or?
We're not talking about the biggest thing you've... Like
the heaviest thing.
Stupidest thing you've towed.
Tow my dick around every day.
Oh, we walked into
Which
that
you
one.
would fit that in a coin purse.
I don't actually know, man. It's not something I've kept tabs on, but I don't know. Weight and size would be a car on a car trailer.
What car?
I can't, like ages ago, I can't even remember.
That's a fair...
What car were you towing it with?
My Falcon.
You were that guy. You were that guy.
Were you driving a Falcon with a flatbed with a Falcon on it?
It was a necessity at the time.
Yeah, you were that guy. Yeah, I bet you didn't think about any of this. You
I
were
was
just
young
like,
and
It's
dumb.
a trailer.
I was
Just
young
put
and
it on."
dumb.
Yeah.
Did it move? Yes.
Did it
I
stop?
get where I need to go? Yes. Did it stop? Yes.
That said, I have allegedly put way more in my trailer than I should have, allegedly. That I did this job once that we were moving big rock boulders, and because you can't, like, just looking at the size of it, you can't really tell how heavy each rock is. You like pick up one in your way, like, oh yeah, that much. We'll see how we go. It turns out one was slate stone and the other was granite, and then it ended up being like 2 point something ton in my 750 kg trailer. Didn't know it at the time.
You would have been rubbing on your tyres for sure.
Yeah. I was only going like 300 meters, but I got there and I'm like, oh, it smells like fucking burning rubber.
yeah.
And I got out and went, fuck. Oh, yeah, all right, come over. Come on. Dig him out with the bobcat. No worries.
See, I was driving behind a guy the other day. He had a caravan on. It would have been like 22 foot, like tandem.
Yeah.
And his tow ball, he was towing it in a Land Cruiser, but his tow ball was actually quite low. So the back end of this caravan was sitting up, and it was pretty much on one wheel, not both tandem wheels.
Yeah.
Such was the angle because his tow ball was so low. Yeah. And we'd gone along behind him, and I couldn't see from directly behind him, but every time there was a set of traffic lights, I was like, that smells like a lot of burning rubber. Like, what's going on here? And then we got alongside him, and every single time he put the brakes on, he was locking up the whole left side, like both tyres, or locking up, and just he would have put like flats in his tires because every single traffic light he was just dragging his left side of his.
Sounds like something wasn't connected.
No, it sounds like he just wasn't riding it right because all the weight is on one axle. Because he's not, if it's pivoted down, his pivot point's on the front.
Something extra was going
Yeah,
on
but I
because
feel like
just
he'd
his
have
left,
airbags.
just his left side was locking up both wheels. So and because it was in the air a little bit, only one wheel of each, like so, 2 wheels of 4 were making contact with the ground.
Yeah, so
the other
he's-
2 were in the air, but then
yeah.
his left side was locking up every time he braked, and was dragging the entire time he'd applied his brakes. So it was just completely locked. So his tires would have been fucked pretty soon.
Definitely overloaded.
And he had no idea. Like, he was making a shit ton of noise and smoke, and he was oblivious. And I reckon we were behind him for about 5 sets of lights, and then he turned off and we couldn't tell him or anything.
Yeah, what a person you are. You could have like honked at him and been like, pull over.
I've got that so many
idiot.
times. For a while there, I didn't realise that my trailer coupling had cross wires in it and it was blowing out the fuse. So I'd like plug it in and it'd fuck the fuses, but the headlights and everything in front of me worked. So it worked for like 30 seconds on the trailer. So you check the lights and then take off to drive with the lights on at night time, and it'd blow the fuse. So then I have 0 lights at the back. And there was like 3 or 4, because I'd be like, oh, fuck, a fuse keeps going on my car. I can't figure it out because I'd unhook it and then drive it and then be like, what's going on here? Turns out that I had wires crossed, and then I had people honking at me for like 5 kilometres. And I'm like, giving them the bird, like, fuck off. No, I'm not, go around.
Jesus.
But really, it was just me being a dipshit.
I think it might be in the execution of how you tell someone to pull over.
Yeah. I mean, an aggressive honk from behind. I did have, actually, it was a super nice dude. I pulled up with the lights, and I'm like, oh, this is like, I was hungover as all hell. And I'm sipping on my coffee. I'm like, oh, this is fucking shit. It was like a Monday. And he's like, got out of his car and knocked on my window on the passenger side because he's parked to my left. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, what does this guy want? Like, he was like a big dude. And like, and I'm just like glaring at him, like putting the window down. I'm like, g'day, mate.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like halfway down. Like,
No, I went the full fucking
went the
hog.
full?
But I've wound it down, like giving him the old fucking stink eye. And he's like the most feminine voice comes out of this dude. He's like, hi, hope you're having a good morning. Just want to let you know that you've got no tail lights. So maybe just if you can pull over and fix that up.
was he in a uniform?
Yeah, he was.
And was his car flashing?
No, he wasn't a cop. No, I think he was a security guard. Like, I think he looked, actually, fuck, he might have been a cop actually on the way to work. Now that I'm thinking about it, he did have the old pipe and strike on his shoulder. Yeah, no, he was fucking a cop. He was a cop.
Oh, God.
It wasn't a fire.
No, I don't know. He was in uniform of some sort. But yeah, massive big dude, super nice. Sort of made me second guess my morning tone.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do that. You got to, like, if you see it,
It's the
pull
nice
people
thing to
over
do.
and be
Yeah.
like, hey,
I've done it before.
something's wrong.
I'll do the old pull up next to him and I'm like, g'day, mate, give him the thumbs up and go, oh, your tail light's out. Like, oh, yeah, no worries, mate. And he doesn't give a fuck. He just keeps driving.
Just quickly, actually, talking about towing, today Josh has, like, got his trailer and he's, like, got his log splitter and that in the back.
This is
And,
crazy. You're not
yeah.
just talking about yourself in third person again.
Nah, obviously. And he put all his heads in the trailer today, so he's gone down like the freeway and everything. And I'm watching
Are you for
people.
real?
People just like he's overtaking people. People are looking into the trailer, seeing that their heads are in the trailer, and they're like trying to make out what it is.
Well, he didn't cover it up or anything.
No, he just put them in there. Yeah. I was actually
awesome.
I was pulling up at the lights that you were talking about coming into Adelaide.
Glenn Osmond.
And I pulled up and like just gone past him because I turned right and he was turning left. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, that's obvious. That is an obvious head sitting in your trailer.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Next time, just strap it to the bull bar.
Yeah, good on him. Who cares?
So just back onto the whole towing thing. How big is your loaders?
22 foot.
22 foot. And how much does it weigh?
So it's unladen's 3.6 ton, and laden it will go up to 4.
Wow.
4.2. Yeah.
4.2 from 3.6.
Yeah, laden. So
That's
that's
only
like
600 kilo worth of gear.
that's like all the water tanks full and all your gear, and that's plenty.
Yeah, that's not much though.
That's
How many
plenty.
litre water tank is on it?
It's got 2 90s and a 60.
So where is that? That's 240 kilos. So you're only going to have, 360 kilos worth of gear that you can put in there.
Yeah, which, like, when you think about it, you really don't need much gear because you've got everything there.
Already got a fridge in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you've already got your appliances.
Fridge and appliances are all
So-
there.
so
It's
the
just like
food and
cutlery,
clothes and cutlery.
food.
Yeah,
and
well, it's only a couple of
It's not gonna
100
weigh
kilos,
360
really.
kgs.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously I'll put a gun safe in there.
Well, that's going to be only a boulder. You want to put a boat on the top as well, don't you?
No, I'll put the boat on the top of the cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
That's why, like, I thought about going to a 4.2 GVM upgrade, but then I'm like, oh, nah, just to be sure, I'll go the 4495.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, buddy.
Because you're right, you shouldn't be fucking around with this sort of stuff, man.
Nah, you shouldn't. Not at all.
It's
It's a fucking nightmare waiting for anyone. Like,
I overload my Hilux, man, because the drawers in it now, the long range tank, and then I got a 55 litre water tank in there.
allegedly.
And so all of that puts me over. I can tell instantly.
Without
man.
towing, you're at your max.
That's not towing. That's just what my tray is rated to
I'd be
on max.
fucking those drawers off, man.
That's fucking
They're heavy,
heavy,
yeah,
man.
They're fucking heavy.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah.
What is that like? 16 mil ply or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking huge.
Marine ply. Yeah,
Yeah.
16 mil, and then obviously a carpet. And I put a fridge divider myself, and then the pantry. So that's more wood. And then I got the 55 litre tank. It's a 115 litre fuel tank. So as soon as I put basically guns or fishing gear, my bags, my fridge, and a battery, you can
you're over.
feel it, man. And the car, you can actually feel the car struggle.
Yeah. And it is a Hilux, so it's going to struggle.
No passengers for you.
No, well, you get in the car and it fucking...
That's all right. You just chuck it into neutral, go down a hill, mate. Save fuel.
Oh, that stinks.
Did you? Oh, you just farted.
That's the new low right there.
I haven't taken a shit in a couple of days.
Yeah, you were like,
I haven't had time.
you're having a whinge about us talking about farts a couple of episodes ago, and here you are letting one rip and telling us you haven't taken a shit. That's a new low. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new low. Send it, mate.
I feel like it's all right now.
Well, do you
Right,
know
do
what?
we have anything else
Can we
about
bring
GVM
this
or
up?
trailers or
Nah, let's move this on. Let's bring this up another notch. What have you got, Caleb?
Right, well,
Please be better than Josh farting.
right. So not in my wheelhouse. Now, if you're an employer, what you don't want to do is employ someone where the role is not in their wheelhouse. So something that employers do these days is they get you to do a bunch of psychometric testing. I don't know if you've ever done it before, but basically what it is a bunch of questions, and what it does is test your abstract reasoning or problem solving, your behavior, how you're going to react in different situations.
Is that the one that's based on the Myers-Briggs, which is like the personality test to
Yeah.
identify?
all that sort of shit. So depends on how much they want to go into it. But like the ones I've done before getting jobs, like we're talking hours and pages, and then someone that fucking analyzes it and then they talk about it in your interviews. Especially in the corporate world, like if you're going to go for a job as a fucking brickie, you're probably not going to do psychometric testing. But in the corporate world, they do it a lot because it's a quick way. Well, it's not a quick way, actually. It's quite a fucking labor intensive way, but it's what HR people like to think is a proven way of getting people
Yeah, it's
that
not
are right
though.
for the job.
It's not though. That stems from. Actually, I've gone through that as well myself. That stems from the universities introducing new bullshit courses with the HR degrees, and it doesn't matter what personality you have. The variance is so high that you can take the test and test badly for it, but still be good at your job. It's a crock of shit.
That's
It could be
true,
phased
but
out.
At the end of the day, if you want a job, you're going to answer the questions the way you think they should be answered.
That's
anyway.
right. You're not going to have an
I
accurate
think,
reading.
I think
not gonna be
for
accurate.
I think for things like sales, or if you're having to deal, like your job's having to deal with other people, as an employer, have like understanding whether the future prospect is capable of small talk and being polite but being assertive when he needs to be.
It sets a baseline.
Yeah,
So
definitely works.
obviously, you're going to get the job based on the interview, not based just on the psychometric testing. they then conduct an interview with you. And
Yeah, but
then
that
talk to you in
psychometric
person.
testing can help narrow down that.
It's not accurate.
Well, no, I disagree because it does ask questions like,
No, there's
you're
that
in
many
this
there's that many-
scenario, what would
exactly.
you do?
So, of course, it has some degree of accuracy.
Yeah.
It's so the indication that it gives you, if you can take the same test 3 times and it give you 3 different answers, depending on the mood that you're in. That's the whole basis of this stuff and why it's flawed, because it's a new thing they've only done in the last, I think, 10 years is my understanding of it. And I don't have any faith at all in those tests because they are a generalization of personality traits. It's not, they're using the same questions that they're asking lots of different people and then using a baseline of data to basically put people in a box. But the data that they're using isn't sufficient enough and have enough variance in it. Like, it's not accounting for enough variance.
They're not asking one question.
So,
they're
I
asking
completely
multiple
disagree.
questions.
No, I know what you're saying, but what these tests give you is a personality trait. But inside of the complexity of personalities, you can have someone who tests negative or bad for these roles that can actually be quite good for the job. Because at the end of the day, people can ebb and flow and change. If you give someone extra responsibility, typically they'll stand up and take that responsibility on and be better at their role. But that same person can test badly and poorly in that same environment, and you just wouldn't know the difference. That's what I'm saying. So
if you do the test and you're in a bad mood, and that result is different to if you did it when you're in a good mood, then you're a fucking idiot for doing it in a bad mood. Like, you can do them at your leisure. They send them to you.
Yeah.
So you want to present
I'm not saying
yourself in the best light. So
I
I
understand
understand
that,
the
but I'm
results
saying-
can be different.
Yeah.
But that's on you as a candidate to fucking put your best foot forward.
Yeah, I think the they got to pay for it. I don't know. I've never been on the employer side of these things, but do they got to pay for the analyzing of these tests?
Generally, there's like a organisation that they come into line with. So most large companies with an HR department, they sort of like buy a package sort of thing that they roll out for people. But I've done job interviews, then I've also done a 9-day course where they actually unpacked all of this stuff in greater detail and actually did activities and scenarios, and you actually had to, in groups, like have a scenario like you've been just stranded on a desert island and this is the items you've got, and they actually go further into the personality traits of each person. So you do all this psychometric testing before you go, and then they talk about that and your responses. So they actually apply what your personality type is into a situation and analyze it further on that. So that's outside of just getting a job. So there's other ways it gets used as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point, I'm not saying whether it's any good or not, but the point of all that is that what I'm going to get us to do is I'm going to send both of you a link to a quick one, which I've just sent. So grab your phones.
Here we go.
Grab your phones, and because our topic is not in my wheelhouse, I've sent you a quick quiz, which is sort of like a Mickey Mouse one of these tests, which is what are my strengths. So what I'm going to do here is pause the podcast and we're going to do this test.
I love this. Do you know what you're doing? Can I just cut in there? You're collecting data. Oh.
We're all going to do this test. I'm going to pause the podcast and we're going to come back and it'll pop out an answer, I'm assuming, at the end of this, which tells us what our strengths are. So answer honestly, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. We've done the test. We've answered the questions.
Yeah.
29 questions in all, which we figured it'd be better to do them.
It would be better if there was 30 questions because that'd be a more rounded up.
29's weird, but if you have a problem with that, it tells you something about your personality.
Oh, yeah, probably.
30 would be better, actually. I don't know why it's 29. Anyway, it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse test, but it gives you a result at the end. It spits something out and it says your strength is... Who wants to go first?
Come on, Josh, what'd you get?
Action orientated.
I think we all got the same thing.
Did we all get the fucking
I think we all
same?
got the same fucking thing. Mine's action orientated.
Yeah, I got that as well.
Look at us.
Which, if we
Like
read,
peas in a pod.
you are action orientated. Instead of waiting around for someone else to do something, you put forth the effort to get it done. If you know it needs to be done, you don't mind helping others out to accomplish the goals. You believe actions speak louder than words. And supposedly on this public test, 29% of people got that result.
Yeah, I wonder how many people do answer truthfully because there are a few times, like there's an advertisement question. Do you think advertisements are all shit or some crap like that?
You think if they would say they're necessary,
Yeah, or something like that. And I'm like, well, they are, but not all of them.
yeah. And then if you've just
But
bought something based on an ad,
you could go yes.
yeah, that's right. If you just bought something, you've seen an ad and go, oh, fuck yeah, but it's the only time you've done that, and then you take the test, you're going to say yes. Whereas if it was before that, you'd say no.
Well, the whole point of these tests is you're supposed to answer truthfully, not answer how you think.
Yeah, but you probably put down you're a good listener.
Because I wonder why. What did you put for that?
Yeah, I'm a good listener. Bloody oath.
I didn't. I'll put down I try to be.
Yeah, I'm a
I
good
have
listener.
a tendency to talk over
Well, there you
people.
go. Anyway, so there was a little fun exercise for us to do. Look, I don't really think that established what is or isn't in our wheelhouse, but,
It gives you an idea of what your strengths are. It's always good to know. Yeah, it's always better to know more about yourself than it is to know more about other people.
Look, I think the older you get, you can work out who you are and work out your strengths and have a bit of like foresight.
I think you got to be tested. You need to be tested in your strengths.
because
and weaknesses.
I think going through your life and your experiences is those tests at times, and you can sit there and go, oh, well, if I did that differently, I would have had a different outcome, better outcome, worse outcome. Okay, I can learn from that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you learn from it, don't you? Like if you're tested in something and you come up short, then
But that's the
you
test.
develop.
Life. You don't have
life
to
is-
sit on a fucking computer and type in a few words.
No,
Or
by
click
test,
a
I
few
don't mean
answers.
taking a fucking test. I mean like going through hardship. So
yeah,
hardship
yeah.
tests the different elements of your personality, and if you're lacking in one, that comes through the hardship, and then you learn from it, and then you develop that area.
Yeah, but you're also, as you go through and you get older, you identify those things a lot easier. When you're younger, you certainly didn't identify them as easy as you do now.
I think understanding your own emotions.
I think they work. I think those tests work. We had to do one to join the ADF, and I do. I think they give a general overview of what the person is like, and that gives then, as a final interview, the interviewer a baseline of who they're dealing with.
It weeds out the plebs, and then it.
But Ryan's right as well, because it doesn't mean that it's like someone may fall short of what they're looking for, but end up being, like, say if you got the job, end up being the greatest.
I think
the company
I just need to clarify what I meant earlier, where it's an indicator, it's an indicative tool, but it's not the be all and end all. So you can get someone who you think is just a snot-nosed motherfucker who's never tried anything in his life, and then give them the reins for a little bit. And I've done this many a time having guys working for me where it's failed. Like most of the time it does fail actually. But then you get every now and then you get a good person come along that is in the right environment that wants to do well. But you can identify those people just by talking to them. Like I think I've got a bit
That's
of
why you have an interview. The way you phrase it made it sound like people are missing out on jobs because they've done one of these tests.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant at all. You're right. I didn't clarify that very well. So I think
there could be people missing out.
Let me
because
rephrase. I don't think they're necessary. I think an interview and then a trial period is enough.
I see what you just
It's a
said.
free hit for HR though.
That's true.
You get someone to sit at home and do one of these in their own time. They don't get paid for it. Then
It definitely
it's a
cuts
free
costs.
hit for HR. I can see
Yeah.
why they do it.
What you just said, Ryan, actually, I kind of disagree with. There was some shit bags in the army, like absolute fucking like wet fucking blankets, and the way that they excelled was by responsibility. They were given responsibility, and they ended up in 99% of the time they ended up succeeding.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, like I agree. Yeah, I'm talking. I meant from my experience. So because I would have people that didn't want to work coming to work for me because they had to get a job. They weren't there because they wanted to be there and they're trying to do something. So they'd go through basic and all that sort of shit. They went through the trials to be in the forces with you. So there was a certain amount of hardship that weeded out the lowest denominator. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me, man.
You can't get lower than a grunt. Jesus.
Yeah, that's I don't know I wouldn't know. I haven't got any experience there, but I'd imagine the people that dropped out from basic and couldn't make it being a grunt.
A lot of it's like a
physical
mental
stuff.
resilience.
Yeah, mental resilience. Well, yeah.
But I think they work, but I don't think that it should stop people getting at least a sit-down, face-to-face interview. And I do believe that it does stop people from getting jobs that could flourish in those jobs. I think I think they work. I think there's a time and place for them, but I don't really like them.
Well, I think as a tool to better understand your like an indicator for you to better understand your personality, yes, but an indicator for someone else to understand someone else's personality. I just think people are too complicated. Like you can't narrow it down to like maybe a 9-day course, like what you're talking about, would be an appropriate baseline, but a couple of hours behind a test, you just can't do that. People are too complicated.
That was later on. That was to sort of help us understand working with other people and our own strengths and weaknesses in the workplace. But if you are a good HR person you see one of these tests, the skill is in interpreting.
Definitely.
The
But
answers.
I bet you anything that there are spouses that help do those tests.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, but then you get found out when you have a one-on-one interview. So if you answer one way and then they...
Yes, but
because
no,
what they do is then they
if
target
your spouse
questions.
is sitting there and told like, oh, this is the way you need to act here in these scenarios appropriately and fitting to the test, when they break down the test in the interview, well, are you getting the person or are you getting the puppet master?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you'll get found out eventually. This is why there's trial
eventually.
periods. So if you've got the job on false pretenses, essentially, then you'll get found out when you're actually in the role and all of a sudden the shit hits the fan and you get found out. And there's a lot of people that cop that because they're awesome interviewers and they can blow smoke up the arse of HR or the manager or whoever they're interviewing them, and then it turns out they're an absolute dud. So people can still flaunt the system, 100%. But what I'm saying is a good HR person can interpret the results and then target the questions in an interview appropriately. So if they've identified something that seems to be a weakness, and I sort of got let in a bit of inside information 6 months into my last job by one of the two managers up, and he actually broke down some of that psychometric testing and my answering. I mean, obviously I got the job, but they did actually have a couple of areas of concern, which they spoke to me about afterwards based on a situation that arose.
You're not perfect, Caleb.
It's just like this psychoanalyzing thing that goes on is like it's a deterrent for people to get a fucking job. I mean, I love doing it in my fucking spare time, but if you're going to go through all this analytics,
You're
all that
fucking
sort of
weird.
shit, yeah, I know. We established that
just
fact.
completing it is weeding out someone who's a pleb. If I'm talking in a corporate world, I'm not talking about a fucking builder or a brickie or a bloody contractor. I'm talking about in the corporate.
If you're talking about you're going for like a role that pays 150K plus, then it's sort of an understandable aspect. But if you're talking about going into a 60K plus super role and you got to go through all this psychological testing, I mean, it's hours of your time.
Too hard basket.
It's way too hard basket. So straight away you can get you're weeding out people that don't want to apply themselves to that sort of time because they can see the time cost benefit out of it, or lack thereof. But then, I don't know, it's just you deter people that would be brilliant for the role. That's why I'm a bit old school in that aspect because typically in my experience where the organisations where I've been exposed to that, the HR department is very new and they've not got much experience in handling the attrition rates, I guess, inside of the company where you'd have a high turnover rate. So they'd go to these tests to try and narrow down the employees. But then, like you said, they can get their partners to help. There's sometimes not an accurate reading because of the mood that they're in. There's not enough baseline data to be applied to their results. I just don't have any faith in it being as big an indicator as perhaps what you guys would. But that's just my experience, I think.
Well, I think Caleb's... This topic's not in Caleb's wheelhouse, actually, because we're a hunting, fishing, and outdoor podcast. And
But we're a life in
we are
general.
talking about
Life in
fucking
general.
An office.
Just because you have never stepped foot in a fucking
sorry.
office, man.
Shit.
No, I think we need to rephrase this. This is outside your wheelhouse. This is right inside mine and Caleb's. Do you feel a little bit left out, Josh?
Nah, fuck no. Fuck no, not at all.
This is
I
life in
think
general.
this is boring as fuck.
Nah, this is interesting as fuck. For everyone who's trying to apply for a job, jump online, take a couple of these tests, know what your results are going to be, and then figure out the right answers for where your shortcomings are. Boom! You're in the fucking trial period straight away.
Dazzle us with your
Ne-
interesting
next
and
minute,
up-to-date
our last
breakdown.
guest rang a dude he'd never met and was like, I want to work, I want a job, and got a job. Fucking hell. What happened to those days?
Yeah, you can do that, but you'd
happened
be
to those
probably in a
days?
small company.
And
it's not corporate. Like, we're talking about the corporate world.
No, in corporate world it's worse because it's who you know. Your mum works there, so she gets you a job there, and this and that. It's fucking horseshit.
No, not necessarily. You can go to
a lot of that happens,
You can
mate.
go to recruitment agencies.
100% it does. Do you know what?
That's-
I'm
that's-
fucking bored now. So how about you dazzle us with your
Come
topic
on, Josh. What do
breakdown?
you got?
Mate, I'm bored. That was fucking terrible. All right, so I'm going to liven the mood up a little bit.
Better be good because you're fucking blowing.
Well, you already know what it is because we spoke about this earlier today. But I was sitting there and one of our last guests mentioned something about a zombie apocalypse and a computer game. Anyway, that got me thinking because I was, once again, the last like 4 fucking topics, they've just been terrible. And I was like, oh,
I think
not
you're
in my
just
wheelhouse.
shit.
At what point are you going to speak up and say you don't like the topics then?
I have the entire time.
He's spoken up when we're recording.
No,
Instead
the
of-
entire time when we've ticked off like, yep, that's first, second, third. I would go through and be like, that's shit, and I'd disagree.
I think this is highlighting what's not in your wheelhouse, and that's creativity.
nah. Well, yeah, I'm not a very
How
creative
do we
person.
how do we counteract that in your personality test if you lack creativity?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, you
fucking
listen to some Enya,
become
sing some
flamboyant, mate.
Kumbaya.
I'm cool.
Relax.
Fucking dazzle me with your topic breakdown.
Well, someone's asking questions, so
Magic
clearly
mushies.
listening and being polite isn't in your
No,
wheelhouse, champ.
I've just fucking cut
Fucking
that
hell.
off.
All right, so
I was lying on my test.
he mentioned about the zombie
LSD.
apocalypse and a computer game, so that got me thinking about this week's topic. And we've done a little bit of doomsday prepping and shit like that. So I want to ask you both, what would be in your wheelhouse for a doomsday apocalypse? Starting with an edged weapon or a firearm?
In my wheelhouse, as in,
And what would it be?
I have the ability to
It's
use
in
it.
your wheelhouse. Not in your wheelhouse. It's in your wheelhouse.
If it's
mate.
in my wheelhouse, I have the ability to use it already.
No, as you are right now.
As I am
you
right
saying
now. I'm,
if-
as
what-
in
if
So your ability to, I'm not saying that all of a sudden you know how to do fucking who flung dung. No, it's right now the fucking apocalypse has happened and you've got a kit bag ready to go.
So you're
what
saying-
the fuck's in it, mate?
What would we ensure is in our wheelhouse if there was a zombie apocalypse? If we had to prep,
It wasn't that hard. It's not rocket science.
Well, if it's in my wheelhouse, then I can do it. If it's not in my wheelhouse, I can't do it currently.
He's saying, what
so
would
what are you
you-
asking?
saying
what
it's,
would you ensure? What would you make sure is inside your wheelhouse?
ladies and gentlemen, Rain Man.
I'm clarifying your question because
So-
it's fucking obtuse.
I said, what's in your wheelhouse?
No, what would be in your wheelhouse is probably a better way of putting it. What would be in your wheelhouse?
Your wheelhouse being a fucking bag or what you're carrying or what you're going to use.
Okay, that's a bit out of
Okay,
out of
that's
context.
very creative interpretation. I'll give
That
you
is
that.
very
Actually,
that is very
you've
creative.
fucking double bluffed us and gone the most creative interpretation of this fucking topic.
and
ever.
he didn't even know it.
So Josh is calling a wheelhouse a bag.
Mhm.
Not in my bag. Is now the topic.
It's not in my bag. I'm sorry, that's not in my bag.
Switch out not to
It's like
what.
something your drug dealer would do. You're like,
All right. So double, triple bluff. What is in my bag?
Yes.
Is now the topic.
Yep.
What's in my bag for the zombie apocalypse?
Semen.
No, I was just gonna say that.
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
What's in my bag? All right. So
Oh, hang on. Let's go back to what weapon you're having in your ball bag. What did you say? A bladed weapon or a what?
Well, yeah, okay. So I was going to give you choices to start with, and then you got to pick one of the two. Tell me what it is, what specific thing it is. And then after that, if you had the choice of any weapon, what would you use? So to start with, we'll go an edged weapon or a firearm.
What is the
Now, just you may or may not have seen Mythbusters, and they actually did do like a a cohort zombie apocalypse with an edged weapon compared to a firearm, and one
Firearm would have
clearly
won.
won. No,
Really?
yeah, the edged weapon held out longer.
Against a horde?
Yeah, like a fucking angry mob of fucking
Oh, okay.
zombies.
Oh, I thought I'm thinking 1-on-1. Okay, so you
How
talk about a
did
horde.
they do that test?
Okay, so they basically had like a court, and then they put a like taped circle where old mate had to stay within,
Yeah.
and then like he had a gun or a bladed weapon,
Yeah.
and then they just hired a crowd of people, and they dressed them up like zombies, and then they just all got to attack, but using the stereotypical movements that a zombie is portrayed to do.
So slow moving.
Yes, typically. Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of gun did he have? What was it? Automatic, semi-automatic, bolt action?
Oh, mate, here in Australia, you couldn't do it with a fucking bolt gun, but it was a semi.
Yeah, just
think it was a
semi-automatic
pistol. I
shotgun.
can't-
He had a semi-automatic.
can't quite
Well,
remember.
that's his fucking problem there. You want to sawn off shotgun. So semi-automatic, automatic. Actually, do you know what? I actually thought about this. I know what my weapon would be. Can we go? Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to chuck in like one more thing here. They obviously only die when you hit them in the head
Yeah.
because that's how the movies go.
Yeah. So are we? So whether it's a bladed weapon or a gun, is that the question?
Yeah, or a firearm, yeah.
Well, you basically just told us what we should pick.
Yeah.
Well, you just fucking work it out for yourself, all right?
Well, I don't want to because then I'll die quicker.
How did you get fucking what you scored on your little test? Jesus, mate.
I would bet. I'd be
Action orientated,
like, how many bladed weapons can we have?
as many as you want.
I would definitely go with a pike, a katana, and a
So you
short
have
axe.
three three blades.
3 zones of defense, bro.
You can only
Long,
wield two
medium,
at
and
once.
short.
I just give me an axe. I reckon that was my answer when I went on another podcast. Hello, Zach, Hunting Connection podcast. That was my answer. Axe.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I think
Like double bearded.
I think that
like-
or a katana or something would probably be.
Yeah.
Yeah, just katana and a double bearded axe.
No,
Fuck
I'd,
yeah.
I'd rather like a hatchet.
Yeah, like a hatchet
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
what I've got in my mind. Yeah.
even a machete, I reckon would be alright. Actually, easy to wield.
You don't want a real long handle or anything. You just need a fucking.
or even a grambit. Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Gramble.
A what?
No,
What?
grambit. It's like so imagine it's like a half crescent knife.
Oh, with the ring on it?
And it's got a finger loop. Yeah, finger ring.
Yeah.
So real close combat, but it's short. You're not going to penetrate skulls with that. You get it stuck.
No, I'm pretty sure you could penetrate a skull with it.
Yeah, you get it stuck though.
We could buy a watermelon and make a.
I don't think that's got
grab
the
it up and
consistency of a
try it.
skull. Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah, axe for me.
axe.
I'd go a katana. If we're picking one, I'd go a katana.
So you wouldn't like
But it'd be a
no
double-edged.
Apache gunship or fucking frigate or anything like that.
You said that. That's not even an option.
That's a weapon
That's
system.
outside the parameters.
Tell you what, that's not in my bag.
Do you know what? If we had free reign, fuck yeah. Apache.
But you don't know how to fly it because I'm saying.
I fucking told you, man. YouTube, sort that shit right out.
It's not in my wheelhouse.
Give me a half hour, YouTube, and unlimited fuel. Fucking boom. Zombies are fucked.
Can't fly a helicopter. Not in my wheelhouse.
I know a Vulcan minigun. Like if it had like a fucking limitless fucking belt on it, like I reckon that'd be right.
Mate, I'll just be like a grenade launcher with unlimited rounds. You blow that.
You still got to reload on a grenade launcher. Like if you've got a fucking a minigun and it's just a continuous, never-ending fucking link of rounds.
What's the what's it called? The one that he uses in Terminator with like this the rotating barrel on it.
Yeah, it's like I know what you're talking about. It's like an M203 grenade launcher,
Yeah.
but it's a fucking 6-barreled fucking I don't know what you call it actually. That's gonna stump me now. I'm
Yeah,
gonna use
because
one.
you don't have to. You all you got to do is blow their legs out so that they can't walk towards
It's
you.
a grenade launcher, so you're gonna probably hit a few at once.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Actually, one of my favorite movies, Zombieland, right? One
Yeah,
and
it's
two,
great.
and I do love it. In the second movie, the initial take is the little gang, little posse that they've got, and they're pretty much going to the capital, what's it called? The White House, right? That's where they're going to live.
Yeah.
And they're going through the field to the White House and they're just killing fucking all these zombies and one of them has a fucking grenade launcher. Fucking pointless, but that's all right.
Good fun.
All right, so that's it. That's what you'd have a blade, you'd have a hatchet, and you'd have a fucking 3 fucking wang
Fuck
doodle
yeah.
fucking things.
Yeah.
Why 3?
A long pike, a katana, and then like a short, probably double, single bearded axe. I reckon.
You can only only wield
so
2.
You'd have, I had the katana across my back, the axe in my belt, and then I'd wield the pike as far as I can. And once they get past
If
that
we hold
zone,
multiple things, I want a gun and a fucking hatchet.
And I would have some sort of belt knife as well, or some sort of knife on my hip, or pistol as well.
Yep.
I think.
yeah.
I'll probably ditch the pistol for a fucking knife.
Like now we're talking a loadout,
Yeah, mate. Get creative. Fucking hell.
which is what you should have. You're not going to just
Clearly
carry
not in
one
your
weapon.
wheelhouse.
I just wanted a fucking big tank.
Actually, I've always thought about that. Why the fuck wouldn't someone in the States just steal an armoured vehicle and because you can combat lock them from the inside.
Yeah.
So just sit in one of those fuckers.
As long as you don't run out of fuel, you're great.
Well, even if you did, no zombies getting in.
Yeah, but
and then when they fucking move on, because you just go dark and like real quiet, you just get out, go get some supplies and fucking
See,
run back
now
in.
you got to clarify which zombies it is you're talking about, because you're talking about like the fucking, what's that one where with the Umbrella Corporation, Resident Evil,
Yeah.
where there's all like different kinds of zombies, and there's ones that
That's
fucking
some fuck it. That's I
super
actually
strong.
like those movies, man.
yeah, they're very creative. And then you got like the Walking Dead zombies, and they're like just fucking dumb as shit.
Do you reckon there's something out there like an underground fucking base like that?
That's got zombies in it.
No, that's got like fucking like in the first Umbrella Academy, how it's like the hive and it's like fucking this multi-story
Umbrella
fucking-
Corporation, Umbrella Academy is a different show.
or whatever the fuck it is. We know what we're talking about, and
Yes,
it's
I
like
do.
it's underground and it's like 20 stories or.
Oh
some
shit, yeah. There's private fucking. There's private companies that build that for multi-billionaires. There's and they got like fucking aircraft hangars and all kinds of shit. There's a series on YouTube of the dude who builds them. It's fucking cool.
Oh, funny thing about that because that's the second question. So,
Hang on. Actually, I want to change my answer.
okay.
I want a shotgun with a spring-loaded bayonet that's retractable.
And why do I get the feeling you're going to die first?
No, I'm not.
Does it fit in your bag?
How big's the bag? You've not really set very many parameters.
The bag, let's just think about it
Do you know what's not in
more
your
as undefined guidelines. So there's no real zip and
So I get an
fabric
Apache.
well, no, you've got to be able to use it.
I can
So,
use an
so
Apache.
you've got your intelligence that you've got now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you can fly a fucking helicopter, a rotary wing.
Give me an hour and a half and YouTube. Fuck yeah.
Okay, you're definitely going to die first.
I'll be able to take off.
All right, so
I might not be able to land, but you know.
I don't even reckon you take off, mate. But all right, second question: would you go mobile, or would you have some sort of hard structure?
Mobile.
Mobile.
Fuck yeah.
I think mobile initially.
Mobile initially.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Initially
With a view to go hard structure
with a view.
So
eventually.
if you found the right,
the right location.
Hard-
I'm not just going to go,
hard
find the
structure.
closest hard structure. I'm going to go mobile and then I'm going to find an optimum location. Then I'm going to work on my hard structure.
So would you pillage
at
a
my hard
structure, or
structure
would
every
you sort of
Oh, hostile
prep?
takeover for sure.
Hostile takeover?
Yeah.
You were
would
going to be that
you would
guy.
hostile take it. No, see that's the problem with having hard structure. It's not the zombies, because you can always barricade for them, but you can't account for a hostile takeover with a superior force.
See, this is where humanity goes wrong, especially in the movies and things like that, because you're actually stronger and have a higher chance of survivability if you have multiple people with you.
What? All the movies have that. We're stronger in numbers.
Because everyone's fucking killing each other, and you're fighting zombies 1 minute, but then you're fighting each other or the tribes or this and that. That's terrible.
Well, that's human nature, isn't it? Unless you get the right people in your group, then otherwise you're fucked. Because as soon as like civil rules get taken out of the equation, it becomes every man for himself naturally. So the psychopaths tend to rise to the top.
Well, this is the other thing. Would you look for your hard structure? I kind of like where you're going, Caleb, just quickly, because this could this outbreak could happen wherever you are. So you need a vehicle to get to your place of residence.
If the zombie apocalypse happens and I happen to be in Davern Park at the time,
You're fucked.
I ain't staying there.
Yeah, you're fucked.
I think the zombie apocalypse already has happened in Devon Park.
Exactly.
All right, so
Those people are battle hardened already.
would you go city or would you go and try and look for something in the country that's dug in?
Country.
Because I often think that like skyscrapers or like big apartment buildings right on the top floor are vastly underestimated.
Yeah, but you've got a huge population of people. If the zombie virus gets in there, you're essentially cut off unless you found a way all the way up and all the way down without having to negotiate the floors.
See, at this stage, I feel like unless you're bitten, like whatever pathogen's gone around, if you're going to get it and turn into a zombie, well, that part of the population has happened, and now it can only be transferred by being bitten.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like if it
dying.
goes through, so one person gets bitten, changes to zombie. Again, we got to clarify which type of zombie we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. Then the unsuspecting person who doesn't know anything about it thinks that the other person's sick, and then they bite them, and it multiplies quickly within an office building environment. That's going to happen real quick. Mm. So they're going to be trapped in there because we're assuming that they're zombies and can't operate the fucking lift. So
We got stairs
well, you do, but they've got to open the door
and
for
a fire
that.
escape.
All right, I want an underground bunker in the bush, concealed. So it's
Concealed.
not a hard structure that's obvious. So other people can't happen upon me and take it over or wish to take it over. So it's concealed underground. I know about it. My
How's your power source?
inner
happening?
circle.
Oh,
I know about.
yeah, I'd do it near a hydro power plant. So
So
then,
basically anywhere in South Australia, you're fucked.
yeah, you kind of that's that's what I'm thinking. Like if it was in our location, you'd have to keep moving it around because there's no power source or food source that you can keep in one spot.
Can zombies live in the desert?
Can you eat zombie flesh?
You'd get bored in one spot. This
Here's
is
a
what I mean
question.
about being mobile to start with. Then
So
you can,
one would say you might buy a caravan in the future
Oh,
if you get bored in one spot. Sorry, go on.
I'm just going to drive around Australia in an armoured van.
I like that idea. Just like convoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
As long as you're moving, the zombies can't get you. As long as you're moving quicker than them, you can either mow them down or run away from them.
Yeah,
And then it's just other gangs you got to worry about.
Yeah, gangs, and then obviously vehicle maintenance and things like that, breakdown, flat tires, whatever.
I mean,
That can
naturally,
cause vulnerable.
as what happens
positions.
in all of the movies, there's a mechanic. It's part of the party.
This is why you're better off in a group, and hopefully each member in that group has a skill set. Like having a doctor and a nurse would probably be good.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, if they're like a plastic surgeon doctor, you're kind of fucked. So you want to have like the right type of doctor. You don't want a chiropractor.
I feel like a GP could suit you up fine.
Yeah, GP. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So the second thing is, so the pathogen at this stage could be.
Do you know what's not in your wheelhouse? Fucking asking questions.
We've gone down a fucking rabbit hole.
It's like a rolling series of questions.
It's great. Well, hang on, keep going. I'm enjoying this. Go again.
Go on.
What's your question?
Third thing, pathogen.
Oh, that's all right. You can do it better. Ask.
All right, I've got one.
Oh, jeez.
So it's not an airborne pathogen. It's only going through the saliva of the zombie if you're bitten, but you can eat the zombie as long as you're not consuming saliva glands.
Well, this was going to be
What?
my.
Yeah, so you can. That's like it's edible.
Oh, you're talking about cannibalism.
Is it cannibalism if it's a zombie because they're already dead? Actually, I
Yes.
suppose it would be because they're dead and they're still humans prior. So yes,
I mean,
cannibalism.
is it necrophilia if you fuck them?
Or is it a good time?
Holy shit.
I mean, you could sew the right parts together to get the perfect body.
That's funny. There's a TV series called Z Nation, and it's like a rip-off of Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
I
It's
couldn't
actually
get into
good.
that. I could not get into it.
No,
Like
it's good.
2 or
And
3 episodes into boring is bad shit.
Some chick fucks the original zombie, so he's like half human still, and still can talk and function and all the rest of it. And she ends up having this zombie baby. This is terrible.
How does that work? Wouldn't the baby eat the mother from the inside out?
Oh, I have no idea, man.
I see flaws. There's plot flaws everywhere.
Yeah, I have no idea, but yeah, it's if you want a good laugh, you got to get through the first couple of episodes and the really bad acting, but it's all right.
How did you last? There was no instant gratification.
Oh,
You watched it with your
Of course,
missus,
it's
didn't
about
you?
surviving.
Okay, that's why you pushed through. You
Yeah.
survived watching
Yeah.
something boring.
Yeah, that's why I'm mates with you because I pushed through.
Thanks, mate.
Fucking hell! All right, so at this stage, you don't know if it's airborne or if it's transfers in liquid. So I was going to ask, would you have a gas mask or a water purifier?
You can only pick one.
Yep.
So it's 50-50 anyway.
So if you don't know,
Which one are you picking? Which one are you going to put in your?
Well, you'd
Yeah.
have to take the gas mask to drink your off to drink your water anyway, so you're kind of fucked.
Incorrect. They have a straw.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. I learned something new today. You have a straw that you can put in a gas mask.
Yeah, they have
How do you eat?
drinking
You can
apparatus.
only have liquids.
Yeah, well, one would think you'd probably go into some sort of area that's not contaminated.
Well,
then.
you're kind of fucked because if it's airborne and you're in a city, then you'd assume that the pathogen is in your immediate surrounds, so you've got a while to get out.
So this is the thing. You can like pretty much secure your house to stop pathogens, and then obviously what's it called? Like decompress it and that. That's fine. It's not 100% accurate, but like sealing up your door sills and your window sills and things like that, and then putting your aircon on or something. That'll help push any sort of air virus out.
Assuming that it gets caught in the filtration system.
Yeah, well, yeah. We wear a fucking mask, mate.
hang
The
on. So
fucking aircon's
you're
going to work.
sealing your house up completely.
That's a hard.
Where's your
task.
where's your oxygen getting in? Like you've
Or
got a
goes
finite
through-
amount of
'Cause
oxygen.
You'd have
Have a
to.
level of oxygen in the house. Yeah, cool.
But eventually you'll breathe it all and just turn it into carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
If you've sealed everything,
You're
you've got
like-
oxygen in the room, you're
Crack
consuming
a
the
window and
oxygen
redo it all over again,
and just let all the pathogens in.
and then fucking
Or
decompress, or get
a
fucking oxygen.
filter, put it over the window opening because you'd have like the same density fiber filter as what the aircon unit would have, and you put that over the window and hope and pray to God that it gets caught.
Yeah, you can work it out. Jesus, mate.
Look,
Or run it through a water filter.
at the end of the day, you just got to just work on the fly, and whatever presents itself, you've got to come up with a solution for
So,
quickly.
what are you going to pick out of those two items?
Well, I'm trying to think. All right, so it's spread by liquid, and you've decided you're going to go around with a gas mask on. Well, that's pointless. But if it is a pathogen and you've got a gas mask, all good.
which you can
So
choose.
I don't know why there's a 50,
See, I'd go
50,
gas
50
mask because you can always go and get fucking Rampage's shop and go get some bottled water. So I'd go a gas mask.
Well, that's That's assuming that there's water left because as soon as like people go, oh, fuck, you say COVID and people choose toilet paper?
Yeah, so there'll be plenty of water left, mate. Australians,
No,
not the price.
because this is anecdotal, but the water cubes in 3 of my surrounding shops near my house were immediately snapped up as well. You couldn't get
You're
them.
in a mobile vehicle.
Yeah,
Drive
no, but
and
that's
find
what
it.
I'm using. Yeah, I'm using that as an example. So like people freak out and they go, "Oh, water."
We'll do the sock thing.
What's the sock thing?
Oh, just run some water through your sock.
I mean, are we talking about a Kmart special here? Or are we
No,
talking like
whatever's
a
on your
bamboo
foot.
thread?
Take it off and fucking put a bit of sand in the bottom. Fucking pour some water in, catch it.
Actually, yeah, that's what they do in Africa. That's exactly what they do in Africa. They got those filters for.
Clearly, someone's not lasting long on this table.
Have you tried that?
I'm just
Putting sand in your
imagining-
sock?
No. Why would
I'm
I try
intrigued
that?
now. I mean, you'd have to get some fine sand. You couldn't be getting some coarse sand, and because you
Fucking get some sand or some charcoal. Light a fire and fucking put some charcoal in the bottom. Boom. Charcoal filter. Fuck, I'm smart. Fuck, you're dumb.
I mean, the jury's still out on that one, but
Crikey.
All right, the next thing is...
well,
is-
fuck, there's more.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's heaps more. So the next thing is body armor or a like some sort of like a thick hide jacket or something like that.
Well, as in bulletproof armor, you're talking about.
Yeah, like as in
Yeah. So assuming that the zombies can't operate weapons and assuming that they can't bite through the leather, I'd go leather.
See, so you're just a general human, right? So I don't think you're going to bite through leather. There's no superhuman fucking abilities. You still.
Or it depends on how. Depends on.
muscle
I mean, again, we got to define what sort of zombies we're talking about here, because they could have superhuman strength, in which case their jaw power gets increased and they can take a chunk through the leather, take a chunk out of your skin and muscle.
See, the way I look at it is, like, if we're using movies as something to go off, everyone seems to always or generally get bitten in the limbs.
Or the neck.
Yeah, or the neck. So I'd want to cover my neck or my arms.
I'll just get one of those, the cones that dogs wear after they've had their testicles cut off. Just wear one of them all the time.
Can we cut your
Ain't no zombie getting
off?
through that, motherfucker. Just zip down to the local vet. No one's going to go there unless they're looking for drugs, in which case I'd take the cone out of the drugs and have a good time.
I don't like the question.
I'm refusing to answer because the question shit.
Because it's horses for courses. So if the immediate threat is
pick one then.
people shooting at you, you're going to pick body armor.
But we've just established before that there's marauders and people that'll kill you. You were going yourself.
Well, that's why I said the immediate threat, because all right, there's both threats. There's other people that can shoot, and there's zombies that can.
So what are you going to pick?
Well, if you've got body armor, you're going to be slow. So,
but bulletproof.
Yeah. So what's the point of that if you're surrounded by zombies?
We're assuming that you're talking about like just a front and back plate. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about like full like bomb disposal armor.
No. Front and back plate. Fuck trying to what an EOD suit.
So someone can still blow your shoulders off, blow your head off, and blow your legs off, but you'd have your vitals covered. So you're kind of fucked anyway, because if you get shot, you're not be able to go mobile, and the zombies will get you.
If you're protecting your lungs and your heart and your spine, your survivability increases if you get hit in the arm.
Survivability if you've got a team around you that will take care of you. If you get a shot to the arm,
you can put your own tourniquet on your own limb.
Yeah, but if you get shot, if your kneecap gets blown out by some random AK round, you're not going anywhere quick, and the zombies will catch you, and you're fucked.
Yeah, not with that attitude.
Look, if I got 2 arms missing, it's not going to be much good for anything, is it? Yeah. Whether that's a zombie biting a fucking arm off or someone shooting.
So which one are you going to pick?
It's just a scratch.
I don't know. The leather.
Yeah, the leather. For sure.
At the end of the day,
you're more
when I'm
mobile.
sitting in my fucking bunker, then I can smell the smell of leather and imagine when a cow once roamed the earth and provided that leather.
And it gives you something to chew on.
The cows are still here.
That is my answer.
The cows are still here. They're aliens, mate. They're the one that brought the fucking pathogen. Haven't you seen fucking South Park?
No.
Is that the COVID special?
Nah, this is like they're one of their first seasons or something like that. And they did like that. The cows are actually aliens. And they're taking over.
There's that, and the dolphins is another popular one where the dolphins come from outer space and we just can't understand them. They're just super fucking intelligent. They're like, these humans are fucking idiots.
All right, so
Not seen.
another one. What would be an item that you'd bring? Just anything.
A bag.
Jet boil.
A bag. A bag.
A bag to put other items in.
So that he has more stuff in his
fucking
bag house.
Moose buck in there.
Yeah.
I would
deflect bullets with those fucking antlers, mate.
I would like one bag of grenades, please.
One bag of grenades.
It's a trophy of a lifetime, and I never want to leave it behind.
And it's been shot in the antler.
It's been shot in the antler.
Yeah. There's
I think there's 17 HMR, I reckon.
someone's had a shot at it.
Oh,
there's-
really?
There's 2 bullet holes in it, yeah.
I reckon
Well, there's
it's
17.
sort of like on an angle and it's gone in and out. Yeah. Yep.
They're not all the way through. It's like oblique enough to go into like, yeah, it's weird. You got to see it.
I mean, it could have been shot in velvet as well.
That's pretty cool, though.
They're just too perfectly round to be anything else, I think. It doesn't look like a deformity.
Well,
I don't know. We need an
22
expert.
round.
We need an expert to look at it.
It's smaller than a 22 round, so I reckon it's 17. And I've heard of people using 17 HMR on deer.
Fuck, we've heard of
Why?
people using 22 on emu. People do dumb shit.
Anyway, it's, I can, yeah.
So a bag, you carry a bag.
Well, you can put stuff in a
You can
bag.
put stuff in a bag.
Okay. You can't put stuff in your motor vehicle?
You've asked me to pick one item.
Well, not if you're on foot.
I want a bag to put other shit in.
Oh,
Why are you putting shit in a bag?
that's
Wouldn't you bury it?
that.
Make sure you burn your
It's a
toes.
valid thing.
Low profile.
That's a valid thing.
Yeah, don't leave
Yeah.
any sign,
Okay.
man.
Well, that's
Maybe-
my answer.
So he needs a bag.
Well, you're looking
and
at me
some
like I
Glad
gotta give you a
wrap
different
and
answer.
a plastic container so he can carry his shit.
Am I supposed to give a different answer?
No, I'm just trying to get inside your brain, mate.
There's a test for that.
What would you bring?
A tank.
That would be your armored vehicle.
I'd bring another tank. Just in case the first one breaks down.
Jesus.
No, I'd bring an Apache.
An Apache that you can't fly because you don't know how to fly a fucking chopper.
I win.
I haven't tried. Maybe I'm a natural.
I can carry a bag. It's in my wheelhouse. I win. No more questions.
All right, let's move this motherfucker on.
ND.
Indeed.
Negligent discharge. And I have this one for this week.
What stupid shit did you do?
I did some pretty dumb shit. So,
What the fuck was that?
that was
Whoa.
My God.
that's Jim Carrey.
If you could see how much you're like your old man sometimes, you would
know.
be scared.
No, I do. I've watched videos of myself and I cringe, but
I thought you were gonna say
I make no
crank.
effort to change. Yeah, I watch videos of myself and I crank.
Who's that good looking?
That's a 5-second wonder right there, baby. I paint the ceiling. So
Was that the ND?
no, that's not the ND. That's just a good time on a Wednesday night.
Shit, we better get out of here.
It is Wednesday, isn't it?
Maybe he wants you to join in.
No. Categorically, no.
You guys don't even leave the driveway.
That, Joshua, is not in my wheelhouse.
Hey, mic drop. Well done, sir.
Fucking
Well
clap
done.
myself.
So I had the opportunity to take a friend who's new into hunting and outdoors and backpacking and stuff this weekend gone. While you guys were off hunting, I took him out to the wilderness with nothing but a backpack. And I said to him, yeah, no worries, I'll take all the gear because I've got my kit. No worries, all good. Being new to it, he didn't have much at all. We just bought a few bits and pieces. Made sure I told him about the condensation this time. Because last time I took a friend out, I kind of fucked him on that. But I had everything all sorted, no worries, got there. The plan was to eat out of the jet boil and, do the normal thing out of the backpack, the convenient stuff. Got there and I forgot to pack the fucking gas for the jet boil. And every bit of food that we had relied on hot water.
Why don't you just start a fire?
Well, that's what we did, and then I realised I didn't have a container that I could put in there because the jet boil's got the material around it. I could have taken that off, but then I can't pick it up with anything.
So you had absolutely nothing.
What we ended up doing is I had one of the old kidney cups that I just forgot
there you
about.
go.
Yeah, forgot about it in my pack. Luckily, I had an old it was actually my old man's when he was in the army. In the bottom of my pack. So that got us out of trouble. But the ND there is, I assumed, I made an ass out of me that I had the little gas container inside the jet boil, but I actually run out and had a bigger one that normally I'd put on the side of my pack, but didn't do it. So checking your pack load list before you go is probably
Why don't you have a spare in your pack as well?
Because that's what I was saying. Normally I do. So I have the small one inside the container.
And the large one.
And the large one.
Oh, right.
But the small one had run out and I'd taken the large one out to use because we went away using out of the vehicle, not out of the pack. So where I'd normally keep the small one in there and use that, I took the big one, which was the spare that was in the pack, and didn't put it back in there.
I said to walk back to the car.
Oh, no. It was at home. I didn't have it at all.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we trekked through bush and everything and didn't, got there and I was like, fuck.
See, this is why, people fucking rag on, kidney cups or a steel cup of some sort in your pack, but fuck, they're handy.
They are
'Cause
so fucking handy.
You're always going to carry some sort of way to light fire, so you're always going to have a heating method, like when you're out in the scrub. So all you need is, a container.
Oh, it turned out to be fucking awesome. So we found a really good spot on the top of a hill. Actually had deer come into camp as well. We weren't allowed to shoot them because we weren't in an area where we were allowed to do that. So it was super good experience though for my friend. Big shout out to Matt. Yeah, he learned a lot as well. It was great. He's hooked. So he's coming out on a deer hunt as well now. So it was a great opportunity to get someone new into shooting. I took him for a shotgun shoot first thing in the morning. And then we ended up taking the packs out and doing an overnighter out in the bush, and fucking loved it. Like he's ex-army from the UK. Hadn't done anything like that for a couple of years. So, but he fucking loved it.
Yeah, so he's got some basics. Why didn't he bring a kidney cup?
Oh, he just doesn't have any kit, so he's not invested in any of the equipment yet. So
When did he move it?
He's been here for a while, but him and his missus did the old travel around the world essentially, and just haven't invested in anything that would give them roots, I guess. So they would do the old stay in like super cheap places in Cambodia and whatnot, and just work there as they can. He spent a lot of time overseas, but doing it rough in the bush wasn't something that he would do on the regular, so they'd never invested in the equipment. Mm-hmm. So now he's starting to do that, and it was fucking great, like good fun. Like being out with him and just sitting there, like it was perfect. There was
Did you do the old turn around and be like, now this is not what to do?
Well, yes, I just didn't give him any fucking. I just wanted to see what he knew, because he's told me a bunch of stories about him.
About you leaving the gas at home.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck yeah. Because, we're walking in there and I'm like, we've got there and we found a spot. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I could go at coffee. And then I've gone, shit, I didn't put any gas in the fucking pack, eh? And he's just looked at me and gone, you fucking idiot. Nah, that's all right. We'll see what we can dig out. So I've like torn my pack apart and found the kidney cup. I'm like, fucking there you go. Yeah, we'll light a fire and get
Were you on dehydes?
Yeah, on dehydes. And so we were kind of fucked.
Did you try the fucking cooked breakfast?
No, I wasn't game enough. Nah.
Fuck's sake.
No, well, because it's got lactose in it.
Nah, don't worry about that shit, mate.
Well, I have to because I'm lactose intolerant in the middle of the fucking bush. I don't want to be spraying
Last
shit
time
everywhere.
you were there, you took a fucking explosive grog bog.
I did. That was terrible.
Should just ate it. You would have some gas.
Hey?
If you ate it, the lactose, then you'd have gas to cook on.
Oh. Don't think it works like that, Caleb.
Probably not.
Speaking of gas, though, I did find in Anaconda there's an adapter you can get to turn your jet boil, like the attachment where you connect it to the gas, from the round canisters to the gasmate canisters that you get that go in the cookers. You know, the long cylindrical ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, righto. No worries, mate. Real fucking professional.
Jesus.
Is that someone calling you?
Nah. My sound's off.
I'm glad you put your phone on silent.
It was.
Was it?
Your ringtone's off. When you watch videos, it's not.
Are you just not paying attention?
No.
What are you doing? You on Instagram?
I was just checking the time.
Yeah, righto.
And my Instagram was open when I
Wow. Anyway, point of the story is check your kit before you go. Never assume anything.
That'd be handy, actually. Like, say, if you're going out fishing or something like that and you're camping from a car, having one of those big or the bigger propane.
Yeah, I normally keep it in the car.
Yeah.
I just took it out because we were using it and then it ended up in my pack and then I took the pack.
Were you using it at home?
No, I have a kettle.
Then how was the gas at home? Ooh.
Because I had it in my pack and then I stripped my pack down because I got dirt and shit all over it. So I stripped the pack down to shake it out and I never put the bigger canister back in, which is normally my spare.
It's fail. This is why you have a load list.
I do have a load list that I didn't check.
No, because it's not on a whiteboard. That's why you always put it on a whiteboard.
If it's not on a whiteboard, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Tut.
No, mine's the little handwritten piece of paper. So I got a load list for the pack, the load list for the ute, and I've also got a load list for the 4-wheel drive gear that goes in a box. So double checking.
You've got too many load lists.
No, I've got job specific load lists.
Get a whiteboard. Put it on a whiteboard. Fuck. All right, Caleb.
I've already got enough whiteboards in this house. Man.
Yes, Josh. What?
You just look like you're going to say something.
No, I'm quite happy with where things have progressed to tonight, and I think it's time to wrap this up. Next week we've got a special guest again, which we recorded in Deer Camp with Hainsey, standing in for Ryan, and our special guest is Beth Nichols from Wild Deer Mag. So yeah.
Quality episode. Listen in, ladies and gentlemen. You'll get a bit of an insight to how the big wigs move and shake.
Totally, because Ryan was there. No, it's a good episode. Beth's pretty awesome, and she was kind enough to come on the podcast. So, tune in next week for Beth.
All right, dude and dudettes. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Catch
Peace
up.
out.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.